Welcome to Source BMX. I'm here in the camp vibes with S&M's Aryei Levenson. Aryei is one of S&M's youngest and most creative talents and an all-around ripper. And we're gonna check out his S&M build. All right, Aryei, you're riding the S&M ATF XL frame. You had some input on this frame. Comes in the larger top tube sizes ranging from 21 all the way up to a 22-inch top tube. You've got the taller 5-inch head tube. You've also got kind of a taller standover height. What went into helping design this frame and what kind of input did you offer?
Yeah, well, I love the original ATF a lot, but me being a little bit taller and riding my seat higher and just riding a little bit taller bars, we went with the 5-inch head tube to eliminate too many spacers, and the taller standover to eliminate how much seat post is exposed, even though there's still a lot exposed.
Still plenty. Yeah.
But just overall makes the bike look a little cleaner.
Gotcha.
But,
okay. Yeah, that makes total sense. So like what, like you're an all-around rider. So what kind of like head tube and rear end do you have on this?
This one is a 75 flat, so for nowadays I think that's kind of on the mellower side, but it's a little steeper for me. And then the rear end is 13.4, but I have it pulled out to 13.7. Just because I grew up racing, so I always like the feel of a slacked out bike. Yeah,
and it's good for like parks and stuff, like stays really stable, Yeah. You said you're a taller rider. Exactly how tall are you and which size top tube are you riding?
I think I'm about 6'2", and I ride the 21.25.
Okay, your forks. One of the most iconic forks there is, the S&M pitchfork. You're riding the wide mouth version with a 26mm offset. How do these features help your riding and your setup?
Well, obviously the classic pitchfork, can't go wrong with it. And when S&M made the wide mouth 26mm, I was definitely into it because I like a little bit of the steeper fork with the mellow head tube. Kind of gives for a good slacked out feel. And I don't know, I really love the way it feels. Has really good peg clearance on it, and no really flex to it. So just all around solid.
Amazing, fork. So no flex, you're fitting that larger tire and the perfect offset again for that all around style.
Yeah.
Okay, you're running Dave Krohn's signature Sandbar. That suggests to me that these things are designed to surf some concrete. They also kind of, with all these stickers on it, actually gives me a throwback Jimmy Levan vibe to the original S&M era.
For sure, I definitely took inspiration from that.
Yeah? Okay. And you got the 9.5 rise.
These ones are 9.25.
9.25.
So and I run a front load, so they kind of give it a perfect like feel for not too tall, not too low, just right in the middle. Okay.
We've got some background baby here. We've already done your bike check. Yeah, so 9.25 rise. Do you run them stock at 29-inch wide?
I chopped them down just to 28 flat, just for, I ride on the outside and I like to do turn downs and stuff, and I have a problem with it when it's all the way at 29 for some reason.
So just little trim?
Yeah, I like them a little bit trimmed down.
Okay. So you were just talking about your stem a little bit, the Odyssey CFL3, and how it offsets your bars a little bit. Only a 6.5mm rise. How does that make everything about your setup feel just right?
I like the way the angle of the stem is, keeps the bars and the front end really like compact, I guess, and feels better for like bar spins, makes them a little bit quicker, and like 360s makes them a little more stable, and all around I love the look of a front load stem. Okay, yeah, I mean it kind of has that classic style for sure. Has the bulkiness of like an old redneck or something. I really like it.
Absolutely. All right, your grips. You got the Clint Reynolds S&M Credence Clint Reynolds grips. Definitely soft. How important is the feel of your grip for you when riding?
I would say very important. And I really love flanges, so when Clint decided to put some flanges on his grips, I got really hyped just because I love the classic look and feel of the flange for bar spins and all that kind of stuff, and just the overall compound of the grip is really comfy and wears in really nice.
Yeah, this is kind of a cool flange. It's kind of like a mid-sized flange too. Like.
Yeah, it's like perfect, I'd say.
All right, Aryei, let's dive into your drivetrain. You've got the Odyssey caliber cranks. These things are a classic spline 3-piece cranks, no gimmicks here. What do you like about them? Why do you trust them?
I really love how solid they are, being spine drive. You don't really get any flex to it or any wobble. And I ride 170s. Like I said, I like the longer, more mellow setup. And yeah, these things are solid. I've been riding them for a couple years now, and I don't think I'd ride anything else.
Yeah, you definitely have like a more of a classic vibe to your setup. You like the longer cranks to get that extra leverage.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right, Aryei, so this Sprocket, maybe not something that's available right now, looks a little bit different to me. Break that down for me.
So this is a S&M Sprocket that they made in like 2009, 2010 that Shad from Goods BMX gave me, and I like big sprockets.
What size is it?
This one's a 33.2.
Oh, 33. 33 what?
33.9.
Wow, okay, so big boy.
Definitely a harder gear, but good for mobbing around the streets, and I like doing disasters and sprocket stalls, and the bigger sprocket helps for
So you like to really pivot on that thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing, all right. So maybe you're gonna have to talk to Moeller, get him to make you a 33.2 guard sprocket.
Yeah, yeah.
Throwback.
That would be sick.
Think we should move some 33.2 sprockets, Aryei?
I would think so. I've heard a couple people say they'd get into those.
All right, you put your stamp on it. I think people are gonna back it.
That would be sick.
All right, for your pedals, you have the Mike Hoder BTM pedals, oversized spindle, ergonomically correct feel. What do we need to know about these pedals?
I mean, if Hoder runs them, they gotta be good. So they're solid, they got the oversized spindle like you said, and yeah, these things, honestly, if you do pedal grinds, they probably don't last forever, but for me, these things last like a long time. So I definitely recommend these pedals. They're solid, they got a good compound for the feet, good wide stance on them, so yeah, I really like the way these things feel.
Yeah, no issues with bending, no issues with traction.
Yeah, not at all. These things are out of the box, perfect.
All right, Aryei, you have the Odyssey Big Stitch seat. This thing comes in slim and fat versions. I think you're running the fat version. You're also running Stu Johnson's signature seat post. You don't hear of many signature seat posts, let alone from a filmer. How important is this whole setup? Break it down.
This might be the most important setup on my bike. My seat's usually about an inch higher, but
higher?
Yes.
Okay.
But I lowered it a little bit because you know, I didn't want to bend it or anything.
All right.
Just the seat post, Stu Johnson, best guy out, gotta run his seat post, and it's a perfect signature part for the perfect guy.
So you would think that the seat post is long because Stu's a filmer and he needs something to sit down on, but you're not sitting on this thing, you're shredding on this thing.
I guess so, yeah.
So what's it help you do with the taller post?
Mainly suicide no-hander. That's like probably my favorite trick, and so the fat seat, tall seat post makes for the perfect setup for certain tricks like stovepipes, suicides, double bar spins.
Amazing, like some original stuff that we don't see enough of anymore, in my opinion.
A little bit, yeah, yeah.
All right, Aryei, your wheel set. You've got an Odyssey wheel set with the classic Hazard Light rims. You've got the Odyssey Clutch Pro free coaster in the rear, the Vandero up front. What makes all this roll smooth?
Odyssey makes probably the best wheels in my opinion, best products. And I've been riding the Hazards to this setup pretty much since I got on a 20-inch, and honestly can't go wrong. These things are solid. They last forever if you take care of them. And I just recently got on the Clutch Pro a couple months ago, and so far I really like it. Good for crank flips. All around, I recommend this hub. It's pretty good.
The Clutch Pro seems to be well renowned by a lot of pro riders these days. Seems to be highly durable. You also have some convenient features like the external slack adjustment and external grease port.
Yeah.
How do all these things add up to help your riding?
Well, I don't really mess with it. I just ride it how it comes, and I'll grease it up once in a while, but I just like a free coaster to do high-speed fakies. And, I actually like it for dirt jumps, weird enough, because it rolls faster. And obviously the no sound, I really like it, but all around the external adjustments seem to work really good. I messed with them a couple times, and it's super cool. I kind of just run it how it comes, but I messed around with it a little bit, and it seems super convenient.
But I think that's good news too. Like if you're saying you haven't had to do a lot to it, that just proves its durability and maintenance free.
Yeah, 100%. It's solid out of the box.
Aryei, let's talk about your pegs. You've got the Odyssey graduate pegs, chromo core, 4.5 size. Why are these features important?
I really like the plastics. You know, in Oregon, there's a lot of no bikes allowed at skate parks and stuff, and so the good old copers will do you good with that kind of stuff. And yeah, they're super solid. I haven't had anything wrong with them since I've been riding them for a couple months, and yeah, I highly recommend these things. And I ride a little bit longer just for more stability on like crooked grinds and hangers and that kind of stuff.
All right, let's get into these tires. I noticed you got an Aiken up front, the legend himself. You've got the Street Ripper, Brock Rayford in the back. Why this combo?
Well, I really like the mid-school feel. Everyone used to ride the Dirt Monster up front and the Wall in the back, or the V Monster. So this is kind of like my new school version of that. I really like the knobby up front just for...
You got a lot of history for a young guy.
Yeah, I grew up watching a lot of Road Fools and props and stuff. And big shout out to Shad for getting my mid-school stuff on the right track. And yeah, but I really like the Aiken, you know. Aiken, legendary rider, can't go wrong with his tire. I think I think they have the dirt one and then the street one.
Yeah,
I think so. I ride the street one up front.
What size tires you running?
2.4 front and back.
Okay. And what tire pressure do you like?
80 on everything.
Okay, so yeah, you run like, that makes sense to me. I mean, I like a higher tire pressure myself, and like the way I see you ripping bowls, you're gonna need a higher pressure.
Yeah, it makes the bike feel a lot more solid, and you know, I'm a bigger dude, so you carve some corners, they're gonna fold on you a little bit, so I just like to keep it at 80, maybe 85 a little bit, and yeah.
But that doesn't stop you from shredding the streets.
No, I just, you know my wrists are probably not gonna thank me in a couple years, but I don't know, I like how solid it makes my bike feel, and not too, I guess, soggy. And then when you're pedaling around the streets, you don't want to be slow and have like 10 PSI.
Yeah.
So I like how fast it keeps my bike rolling.
All right, Aryei, one more interesting feature on this drivetrain. It looks like you have the bottom bracket buddy on here. What does that thing contribute to your riding?
I like to do some crank arms on ledges here and there, and then just bash my bottom bracket up a little bit, and so kind of keeps that region of the bottom bracket safe, I guess.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about trying to pull some bottom bracket cups out and your bottom bracket being all dented in. So. Gotcha.
So between the bottom bracket buddy and the Sprocket guard, it's kind of like an invincible drivetrain.
I guess so. Yeah, a little bit. I got kind of like, I don't know, maybe 6 pegs on here.
Yeah. Aryei, thanks for sharing your ATF XL build with us today. Everybody, wish Aryei a get well soon. He broke his foot on the road out here to Swamp Fest, so if you're noticing there's no riding footage, be on the lookout. Go back, watch some of his parts. This dude is part of the next generation of S&M, and make sure to go on the Bike Builder on Source BMX. There you can see everything Aryei is riding. You can get pricing, specs, and availability. SourceBMX.com.
Hell yeah, honor. Thank you.
Thanks, boss.